Hi, how are you today? Today or this week, we're going to focus a little bit on privacy. Privacy, in person or online, what is privacy and what does that really mean to us and to other people? Last week for our lesson, we went over internet safety, and I kind of covered a lot of different topics that had to do with a lot of different kinds of internet and us being online. Right now, we see a lot of time online and a lot of internet usage with us being separated from family, friends, and different things that we would like to be doing out in the community, out with other people, and groups that maybe we were really a part of before that we can't unfortunately be a part of those organizations and groups right now. So this week I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about privacy in regards to being online, as well as privacy to being in person. Privacy is a pretty important thing, so we can kind of focus a little bit on what that all means. So can you tell me, if you think about what is privacy, what does privacy mean to you? Think about that a little bit and see if you can come up with an answer. When we think about privacy, privacy might be maybe defined as something that somebody else doesn't know, something about ourselves that nobody else knows about, something that is just for yourself. It's a space, it's a place where you can just be yourself, and nobody knows anything else about it. It's your place, your space, it's all you, and you're the only one that knows about that. You're the only one that knows that information. That is privacy. It's your personal space, information. It's your personal stuff. So I have a few questions I kind of want to start off with today. Have you kind of think about a little bit. I want you to kind of think about, when does privacy feel important to you? When do you really think about privacy? When is that an important part of your life? Is it only when you're online? Is it when you are meeting a new person, in person or online? Is it when you make a purchase for something? Is it when you're having any kind of conversation with somebody else? When does privacy feel important to you? When you're home? When you're not at home? In a new place? I want you to think about that. Maybe pause the video and come up with some different ideas of where you really do think about privacy and what privacy really means to you. Along with that, I want you to kind of think about different times when it feels important for you to be kept safe. Maybe you to be kept safe, or maybe information about yourself, maybe information about the people that you love, the people that you love's belongings, your personal belongings. When do you really think about how important it is that that stuff has been kept safe? Maybe important documents, important papers, important information that belongs to you, to your family, to family members. When do you really think about the importance of that privacy as well? Okay, something I want you to kind of think about with privacy is, the hard part with privacy is, once we state whatever information we're giving out, whether that's in person to somebody else or it is online, we can't take that information back. Once that information has been given to somebody else, that information is out there. It can't be taken back. It can't be erased. I mean, it's information that somebody else now has. If that was your personal information and that has been given out, then that kind of stuff has been given to somebody else. It's not just your information anymore. A way to kind of think about that is, think about how if you walk in the sand, or you're it has snowed out recently and you put your boots on and you walk outside in the snow, or people lay cement and you can tell when somebody ran through that cement on the sidewalk when they weren't supposed to. People leave their handprints in the cement. If you've done that, you leave your footprints in the snow, the wet cement, the sand. And after you've touched that, or after you have walked through that and left, your footprints stay there for a long time. It's the same way when we give out our information. We give out our information to somebody, it doesn't just go away. They have digital footprints, footprints that are online that don't ever go away. They stay there. The same as when, our footprints maybe get frozen in the snow. If you put your footprint in cement, think about, years and years and years later, that stuff is still there. Right there where they put that handprint or that footprint in the cement. So we need to really think about how private we want to be. What are we giving out? We don't want everybody to know our information. That is our private stuff. We want to make sure that that stuff stays with you and that it's your privacy that you're keeping safe. Another way to kind of look at it, think about a funny story from when you were little. Maybe it's something funny you did or goofy you did. Maybe it's kind of like a family joke, a little inside ha-ha moment of something that you did that maybe was a little silly, a little goofy, or maybe a little embarrassing from when you were little. Now, I have those too. My family will joke around about them. But it's just myself and my family that knows that. If I were to find out that that information was put online, or that I come to work one day and everybody here at the center knows that information, that's something that I might not be very happy with. That was something that was private to me, private between me and my family, and now everybody knows it. So after everybody knows that, can I take that back? I can't. Once somebody else has heard that information, they're never going to unhear it. They're going to have that information always. If it's something that I write or say or talk or post online, it's going to be right there online. Whether it's online or in person, if that information has been given out, that story has been given to somebody else, they know. I cannot take that back. So when you put out information, whether you're talking to somebody new, you're talking to your friends, new, old, whichever, if you're online and you're putting the information online, really stop and think about, do I want everyone to know this? Because once I say it, I cannot take it back. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about some privacy guidelines. Whether we're at home, whether we're at work, someplace in the community, a restaurant, the post office, getting our hair done, we're a part of an organization in town, we're a part of a group, we're at the Dome, at a basketball game, at a football game, wellness center, anywhere that you go, whether it's home, work, community, organizations, even online, when we are online, different places have different privacy guidelines, privacy rules. They have guidelines that we have to follow all the time. They have rules that we have to follow all the time. One of the hard things is sometimes we feel like we don't need to follow those guidelines. We don't feel like we need to listen to what that guideline is or listen to what that rule is. But part of being an adult is understanding that those rules and those guidelines are there for a reason. They're there for us to make sure that our privacy is staying safe. So ask yourself a couple of questions. What is the reason for this guideline, for this rule? Why is it here? What is the reason for it? What are some things that could happen if I follow this guideline or this rule? What's going to happen if I follow it? And what are some things that could happen if I do not follow this rule or this guideline? So, why is it there? What happens if you follow it? And what happens if you don't follow it? That can help us to make that choice of knowing what we should be doing and how we should be doing it. we need to make sure that we're following the right guidelines and not putting our privacy and our private information into jeopardy or making that out for everybody else to have. So here's the guidelines. Don't share any personal information. Don't give out your name, your address, your phone number, passwords with anybody that you meet online. If you meet somebody new online, in person, don't give out that information. If you don't know them very well and you're just meeting them, that information is yours. That is your private information. Talk to somebody that you trust. Another adult, parents, siblings, somebody that's really close to you, somebody that you trust. If you meet somebody that raises questions for you, if you're not really sure about who this person is, tell somebody that you trust. Tell them that maybe they're asking for information. You don't know if you should give this. Ask before you do. Ask. Somebody else can help you. Somebody else can help you with that information and what we should maybe be saying and when we should maybe be saying that. Make sure you're following the rules, the guidelines, the policies that are already put in place wherever you're at, home, work, community, organizations, online. Think about what those guidelines already are. And lastly, make sure you are respecting your privacy and the privacy of others. Make sure that that's what comes key. Your privacy and the privacies of other people. How it kind of comes together. Sometimes we don't really like guidelines. We don't like rules. We don't like to have to always follow different things that we maybe don't think are right or appropriate, or maybe we think they're just dumb. But they're there for a reason. Our private information is very important. It's yours and yours only. So make sure that you are respecting your own privacy in new relationships that you're making. In person, online, they're the same thing. You should not be meeting people that you don't know for sure and giving out any kind of information. Ask a trusted person in your life. We need to make sure that we're respecting our privacy. And we need to make sure that we're respecting other people's privacy and other people. So, think about what you're sharing. Is this private? Is it private information? And then lastly, is it private information for you or for somebody else? If it is, keep it to yourself. I hope to see you guys more this week. I hope you've been having a really great week so far. And that's all I have for today. I will see you all soon. Bye.